Alright, this is a video for a Peugeot 407. This is a 2-litre diesel sport. Car's registered WN07TFF. Mileage at the start of this brief road test is 101,902 miles. Purpose of the test drive really is just to show the car to you. Obviously, if we're now selling to people from not just locally, but all over the UK and actually the near continent as well. So irrespective of price or otherwise of the vehicle, we like just to make sure that if you're going to come to us, then there's going to be no nasty surprises, or if there's anything on the vehicle, I can tell you about it before you making your trip to us. This car recently came in on part exchange. We generally specialise in Honda cars, so we do have a few of the non-Hondas, and if it's we think it drives well enough, then it'll be sold on, as this one is. It's just been through MOT, flew through. So it's and I drove the car previously and it drove really nicely. But what I try and do on these road tests is, as brief as they may be, is just to go through exactly what you'll do yourself when you come and drive the car, and that's just to give you an overall feel for the vehicle and go through the major mechanicals of the car itself. Worth pointing out, obviously, if you've read the text, you'll know that the car's been very well serviced, so the last chap kept right on top of it. Engine starts absolutely on the button. Very smooth, very quiet. There's no warning lights relating to the engine at all on the dashboard here. So they've always been nice engines, these. They're very, very smooth revving, very tractable, very you can go around in quite low revs and it picks up very nicely indeed. But there's no kind of sense of wear in the engine really, even though if the miles it's done, it's very, very smooth and very, very quiet indeed. Engine then goes through, obviously, clutch and gearbox. Clutch is light as a feather, bites really nicely. There's no noises from the pedal. There's no discernible change in engine notes or vibrations from under the engine bay when I dip the clutch in or out. And as I said, on the pedal itself, it's biting exactly the right point. Then goes through sport version. We've got the 6-speed manual gearbox. All works absolutely beautifully. Still very, very smooth shifting. There's no, again, I can't really, fair play to Peugeot, they've really got their build sorted quite nicely these days, because it's, the actual linkage itself feels, it's as fresh as it was when it was new almost. It's, really, really lovely order there actually. But all the synchro mesh is very good indeed. Every gear selects really nicely, even ridiculously low when I'm doing 40 miles an hour in 6th gear here. But it pulls along nicely, and all the gears engage really, really well indeed. Inside the car, it's in absolutely fantastic condition. This is why we decided to go on with the car, because it's just been so well kept. You won't find many, if any, that have been kept as nicely as this particular example. It really is a lovely car. Put my foot down there, just pulls really sweetly. No kind of strange wind noises coming into the car, so all the window seals, windscreen seals all seem in really, really fine order indeed. Every button I've pressed thus far seems to work very nicely indeed. Can't fault them. Coming back to the mechanicals of the car, brakes really good, really strong, positive brake pedal on the car. Again, it's a testament to how well kept this car, or how well this car's been kept. Steering on the vehicle is light, positive, and doesn't give again, there's not a hint of vibration or wear actually in the steering that I can feel. Even at speed, there's no wobble there. It tracks, absolutely dead straight. So there's no sort of variances, and and the tracking seems in good order as well. Suspension, which is obviously one of Peugeot's main strengths, very smooth riding. But again, what I tend to look for, which you'll do yourself when you come and drive the car, it just has a real tightness about it. It feels as though if there's been anything needed to be done to the car, it feels like it has been done, because I can't genuinely cannot detect a hint of wear in the suspension at all on the car. There's no kind of nice little aftershock suggesting kind of you might have a, you know, a track rod end or an out-roll bar link arm or a, you know, drop link or something sort of worn. It just feels very, very, very tight indeed. You know, it is a really, really lovely car actually. Coming to the dashboard itself, all the gauges work absolutely perfectly. The only thing to note actually, now we've checked all the bulbs on the outside, they're all absolutely fine. But when you start it, it comes up with side lights, I think it was side light malfunction or something, or, you know, indicating a bulb might be out in the car. But we've checked them all, they work absolutely fine. So, you know, so the point of this road test is to pick up any issues, and, you know, that's the only thing I can find. But we won't be touching it ourselves. You know, if it's sometimes apparently if you put the wrong ampage bulb in or something, or it's not a genuine one, it can throw up these bulbs or these warning lights. But you know, in essence, given the price we're asking for the car, which isn't a huge amount of money, you know, it's not something we'd be sort of chasing anyway. But no, it's just a really, really lovely car actually. Worth pointing out the roads around here, they're very quiet indeed. This is our new site actually, which we've after 15 years of being in Bristol, we've escaped to the countryside. We're literally just off the motorway. So what I'll do actually on the way back here, I'll just show you just how easy it is to get to us. You know, it used to be a bit of a trek for people coming into us in the where we were previously. But basically just up ahead of us here is the junction 14 of the M5, which is where, you know, we're located just off it, so you can see the sign, or you probably can't actually, sign up here. So if you were coming up the motorway northbound, you'd be coming up the slip road on the right hand side, as you can see just out over here, and then you'd be turning right to come up where I'm going now. Clearly if you're coming southbound down the motorway, you'll be coming off the slip road just on my left hand side here and joining and turning left up the hill. So here we are. You can imagine you come off the M5 and you literally will then just climb up this hill. Your sat nav, which will tell you the postcode, or we'll get, that's all on the website anyway. Depending on which one you've got, it may tell you you've arrived a fraction early actually. So if it does, you can just see there's a lovely Victorian wall on the right hand side. Don't try and drive through it. Carry on a couple of hundred yards, where I'll show you in a second, and then turn into the Tortworth Business Park. But it literally is, it's less than a minute off the motorway, just up this road. Obviously the beauty of it is, it means test drives like I'm doing now, you've got very little traffic. It's nice and quiet, and I mean, it's a filthy, horrible day today, and it's still quite nice driving around here. But you're not going to get caught up in traffic, generally speaking, even at the busiest time. So basically, your sat nav may tell you you arrived here, which you haven't. Just keep going up over the brow of the hill here. Indicate right. You'll quite often see the little cafe open. So there's a nice little cafe here as well, and it gives you the entrance in. Then, as you can probably see, the Tortworth Business Park sign just on the left-hand side, and we're just in here. So anyway, I hope that's been a help. If there's anything I missed on this brief test drive, then please do give us a call. But from what I can experience and drive the car, you'll be utterly delighted if you make the trip to us.